Okay. Hello, my name is Stephanie Vasquez. I'm a local artist here in El Paso, and today we're going to be painting on a wooden surface right here. As you can see, I have already started with a general basic silhouette of the city, and I also have the name of the city up here, El Paso. I'm almost done with the drawing part. All I need is the S and the O for El Paso, and then we'll move on. But before I do that, I'm just going to show the supplies that I have. So I have the water that I'm going to be using for the brushes. And then here are my brushes. I have several different types right here. I have like very tiny brushes, medium-sized brushes, big brushes. The little brushes will be good for like fine details. Little crooks and crannies that I can't get into with the bigger brushes. And the bigger brushes I will most likely use for the background of the drawing here, as well as probably like spotting on it here with one of these brushes here. Just go like this to give it kind of like a splatter effect. Also, the types of colors I'm using are watercolors, like I said before. So here I have a bag full of tube watercolors in here, and then also I have like a little tray of other colors in here that I can use too. So we're just going to be going back and forth, and for the tube I'm going to put on this palette right here. It's a little messy, but the colors on here are pretty dry, so it really shouldn't mix. But if it does, well, it'll just make the painting a little bit more interesting. And then also I have my pen and my pencil and my eraser here, just to draw. Normally, you can use one of those artsy pencils that have like the different darkness. But since we're not really doing shading in this, it's just like general outlines and everything. So using a regular mechanical pencil should be fine. If you want to use a more artsy type pencil that's either lighter or darker, that's your choice. I don't really think it's necessary because we're not shading in with pencil, we're mostly shading with watercolors. And then also one of the last things I have here is Mod Podge, which acts as a glue and a concealer. So basically, like when I'm done with the painting of it, I'll get my bigger brush and put it in there, and then I'll just go like this to kind of give it a nice gloss over and everything. So that way it doesn't really get damaged, the painting doesn't smudge off if it gets wet, because since it's watercolor is very sensitive, so it's one of the easiest colors to like wash off. So the concealer is just to protect it, kind of like if you were protecting a drawing, if it was just solely a drawing. But the whole look I'm going here for this is kind of like to fill in the spaces right here with different colors, so like maybe like a red or blue in the first buildings, and then it'll gradually go into like another color, maybe like green, purple, and so on and so forth. So like kind of try to blend it in together. And then I'm gonna do like a dripping effect down here. So down here, so I'll most likely erase this line right here. This is just to see how even the drawings will look, but I really don't need it. I think I just did it just to see if it was even. But other than that, I really don't need this line, so I'll probably erase it. But yeah, just a dripping effect here, switching of colors here. And then as for the background, I'll most likely do a similar effect, so it kind of looks like a raining of color. And then as for the sides, since I'm for one that doesn't like to leave things completely bare, I'll most likely do like a dripping effect here as well, just to give it more character. And then I'll also put like the Mod Podge on the sides here, all the sides here. And then the bag, I probably won't do anything with the bag because you're just gonna hang it with something. So yeah. So that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so now that the word El Paso is finished, now that this is finished, we are gonna erase the parts of the drawing that we don't need. So like I said, we're gonna erase this line. I'll try to clean up as much as possible right here, because I did leave it a little bit kind of dirty here. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to clean up those lines just a little bit. So we'll do the best. I'll do the best that I can. Now and do the watercolors for this. So when you see this, so first we're gonna try to color the buildings here, and maybe do the start of the like the dripping, maybe the start of the dripping. But mostly I'm concerned about is the buildings right now. I might color the windows first. Alright, so as you can see, I finished the first part of the silhouette of the watercolor. So I decided to go with the windows being black. And if you can tell, some of it kind of smudged a little bit. I tend to want to go inside the cracks of the wood, like the little seams of the wood right here. And that's just fine. Sometimes that's just how it is, like you see it here going too. It's just part of the process, but like we're not gonna leave it like this. But see, this is part of the watercolors here, so I did all the windows black. And now I am going to do the buildings. So as you can see, I had a little bit of a camera issue right now. So I kind of already painted the El Paso, but I will go over them. I will go over it again with black paint, just because you always want to make sure that you do more than one layer. And especially with watercolor, that's especially difficult since the paints are normally super transparent. But with the buildings, that's a different story because we kind of want them to be somewhat transparent. But I probably will touch them up, but probably more near the end. I'll probably touch them up a little bit. Alright, so here you go. So here's the first part of the edges. So I did the edges of the red, pinkish, orange color, the purple and the gold, and then the green, the light green and the blue on the front here. And then also on the sides, I did the red. And then I also did the green right here, the green and the blue. And so then now all I have left is just the sky. So what I'm thinking now is that I might as well just follow the color pattern, which is like a darker blue and then with the mix of purple and pinkish in the sky here. And then I think that will be pretty much done before I start outlining the buildings. I still gotta find that marker, but I will. But for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and paint these edges right here on this, on the front side right here, and then on the side right here, and then on this side. All right. Alright, and here we go. So here's kind of almost the finished product. So we have the El Paso sky already finished, and then we have the sides too. I just kind of go for whatever I'm feeling at the moment. But yeah, here we go. So it's a little bit dark in the background, but that's okay because the colors up front are a little bit more vibrant right there. But okay, now I'm just gonna kind of pat it down with my finger a little bit. To trace around the plaza and everything. And maybe even a little bit of the letters too. Now we're just going to put gloss over them. Alright, so like I said, this is the final product. Basically what I'm going to do, it's basically finished. This is basically the finished product. I'm probably just going to do like minimal steps afterwards. Nothing too much that it doesn't need to be recorded. Like how I did with the white paint. I might do it with the sky a little bit, just as it sets. It's kind of setting right now. Just a little wet. But yeah, normally with this, you just let it sit and then probably do one more once over with white on the top just to make it a little bit less stark a little bit, and see what that does. And then probably just put one more coat of Mod Podge, and then it'll be set to go. And this is the final piece, kind of like my abstract-ish painting. This is the first time I did it on wood, so I can only get from here, right? So, but thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.